Statistical inference is the process of drawing conclusions about a population from sampled data. Statistical inference is probably the most important and fundamental part of statistics, so I'd like to motivate it with several examples before we start talking about some of the particulars. I'd like to distinguish between the procedures that we use, like the t-test, and the way in which we interpret them in the context of the different settings we might be looking at. Imagine you're an ad executive working at an ad agency. You've compared two regimens and you've gotten a significant p-value for your t-test. How do you interpret that p-value? When you performed your test, you assumed that your data was IID. In other words, it can be reasonably assumed to be a random draw from a population that you're interested in. Is that warranted? Another consideration is how comparable are the groups that you're comparing. Imagine, for example, if the first ad regimen was only displayed on Pinterest sites and the second was only displayed on the American Association of Retired Person websites. Are they comparable? Is your significant result really due to a better ad campaign, or is it just due to the different demographics that visit the two sets of sites? Ideally, you would have randomized somehow the ad campaigns across a collection of sites, balancing unobserved covariates as best as you can. Consider a clinical trial. Imagine if you were comparing a treatment and placebo, but that everyone on the placebo that was very sick decided to leave the study. When you compared the end of the study treated versus those that were left from the placebo group, would you be comfortable with that comparison? Consider election polling. Imagine if a random sample was drawn. However, it was drawn at one of the party's conventions. Is that sample representative even if it is IID, or is it biased relative to the population that you're interested in drawing inferences about? I hope I've convinced you that simply performing a test and reporting a p-value is not enough. You have to interpret your statistical inference with respect to the context in which it was conducted. That includes the strengths and the weaknesses of the study design.